Now how freaking cool is this back end? Now let's see if we can't get this one back on the road. That's right, 1959 Chevy El Camino. Super cool car, and we've got one. Now this might be one of the rustiest ones on YouTube, but we're chipping away at it. Now if you're new to the channel, you gotta go back and watch the previous videos and see all the stuff we've done to this car to get to this point. Now I pretty much overhauled the complete chassis on this car. Starting back here on the rear end, I replaced that third center because the other one we had was toast. Then I cleaned up and painted the housing, put new bearings and seals in it, and we slapped it back in here with all new bushings, and I painted all the suspension. I put new shocks and shock mounts. I replaced an e-brake cable. You know, we painted up the backing plates, and I put all new wheel cylinders and shoes and hardware. And then we moved up front, doing the same thing, replacing all the bushings and ball joints and tie rods, replacing all the brakes and components, running all new brake lines, new master cylinder. I put new bearings and seals in the spindles. Of course, repainted everything, so pretty much complete overhaul on the chassis. Then we got the Chevy 350 that came with the car running, and we installed it into the car with a 3-speed transmission. We're going to use the stock 3 on the tree. Now it's got a brand new flywheel and clutch and pressure plate. We think it has a new cam and timing chain. And I threw a new starter and fuel pump on it. And a great member of the channel, Mike, sent us a brand new distributor. But yeah, just got it installed. We got brand new motor mounts and transmission mounts in there. But now I gotta bolt up the exhaust and start working on a few things. You know, we gotta work on the clutch components, you know, the Z-bar and the clutch rod and all those shift linkages. We gotta get that all sorted out, as well as overhauling the driveline. Now it needs 3 sets of U-joints and a carrier bearing, which I got them all except minus 1 set of U-joints. Actually, before I order that third set, I want to tear into it, make sure I got the right ones for it. Then we could order that third one to verify that we got the right ones. It seems that a lot of the stuff that I ordered for this car 5 years ago, some of them are turned out to be the wrong parts. So we need to verify what we got before we move on. But first things first. These tires will not hold air. I'm so tired of filling these up. They probably only stay up for about an hour. So I got these, which need to be repainted. I got to probably clean these up really good, maybe give them a light sanding. They had some large size hubcaps that kind of scratched up this area here. We got baby moon hubcaps that are the 10 and an 1/8 inch that fit right over these nubs. They go over the center. So we need to get these all cleaned up and repainted and mounted on the car. But you know, I just noticed as we were digging through these that 2 of them actually are not holding air, and the valve stems have been broken. I do have a valve stem replacement tool that I've never used, so we're gonna have to give that a try. It's something that you're supposed to be able to pull these out and put a new one in without pulling the tire off. So we're gonna have to give that a try. 2 of them are like this one and this one. Neither of those hold air. Both the valve stems are broken, so we're gonna put new valve stems in here and get these cleaned up, painted, and mount them on the El Camino. All right, I got the tires up here that we're gonna be doing the valve stems on. I may do them all if it works out easy enough, but you can see here, this one's split and this one's completely missing. Now I'm hoping, I was looking at this kit, and the valve stems that they brought or send with it are, I mean, they're shorter in length, which probably doesn't matter, but they're bigger in diameter, it looks like, than the ones that are on here. So I'm hoping these will even work. I might have to order a smaller diameter, but we're going to attempt it anyway. I'm kind of curious. Well, this is the kit, and I was reading up on it. It's a tire valve replacement tool off Amazon, I think it was, fairly cheap, but you're supposed to be able to replace the valve stem without taking the tire off. And I was reading the directions here, and the process is: step 1 is you will obviously deflate the tire, it says. Then you insert the T-hook into the gap between the hub and the air valve. So I'm gonna have to set you up as I do this, but just kind of showing you what we're doing. Apparently you put this T-hook in here and get it twisted around so you can grab onto that valve stem and pull the valve stem out. And then after that you use this push rod and you screw the valve stem that they supply you into the end of this, and then you insert this cone over that hole, and when you run this push rod with handle down through there with the valve stem, you're supposed to, well, on step 4, it's supposed to tell you, I had to go back and watch a YouTube video to see, because on this one they tell you to do the exact same thing as step 1. That's a misprint. They're telling you to use the T-hook again. It's the exact same printing as step 1. Step 4 is that you're actually supposed to, you know, insert that rod into the valve stem hole and jam this rod down. Maybe even adding some lube to the valve stem and jamming it into that hole. It should jam in there and take place, and then you unscrew that push rod and pull it all apart, and hopefully we have a new valve stem installed. So I'm gonna get you all set up, and we're gonna attempt to do this. And this is the T-hook. They say to insert this between the valve stem and the hub, and then you twist this and hook it and pull it out. There's a good chance, since this one's broken, that I'm going to push it inside on accident and unable to retrieve it. And the video I watched talking about this actually said that that's not that big a deal, so it may just happen, but we're going to try to pull that out by going in here like so. Yeah, this being a smaller rim, a 14, this opening is, yep, it's going inside. I think I might be able to get it though. Maybe if I get a pair of pliers on it. Hold on. Oops. Come here. Okay. Well, their T-hook was too big to even fit in that hole. I had to use a smaller, cheaper hook here, but we got it. And it actually looks like it's the same size, as a matter of fact, so we should be good there. Maybe I could squeeze this hook together more and make it to where it actually fits. Almost. Alright, well, I smacked it with a hammer, shrinking that hook size down, but now I don't even know if that's going to work as a hook much anymore. We'll try, but let's try to get this new valve stem installed. Put a little penetrating fluid on it. Yeah. Alright, so it's like that, I believe. God, I can't imagine this is gonna jam all through everything and into that hole, but let's give it a try. Get it lined up. Oh gosh. I don't know how much effort to apply. I don't want to push it all the way through, but I guess with it screwed in, I could pull it back out. Anyway, here we go. Not even. Wow, did it work? Well, look at that. I think we did it, and then we just unscrew it. Oh, that's doing the handle. Do the whole thing here. There we go. Will that work? It looks like it's all fully seated in there. Well, there's one way to find out. Let's see if it'll hold air. Alright, let's see here. Well, heck yeah, it's holding. All right, well, let's just do that one. And I guess we'll check the others. We might just do them all. Heck yeah. All right, let's get this one out, or try to. Yeah, that hook that they supply you with is just too big for this opening. Oh, well, I lost the butt of it in there, so that's where it's gonna live. Well, let's go ahead and get the new one in. Oh, just like that, we're in. That turned out a little easier than I thought it was going to be. Let me check the others. Yeah. You know, after looking at these, I'm going to replace them as well. I mean, this one looks okay, but this one is splitting as well, so might as well just do them. Let the air out of these and we'll replace those two. Alright, let's get this valve stem out. That one I had to kind of push down to get it seated, but it's installed. Got it. That one we got out whole. There we go. Yeah, I love working on this tailgate. It's a perfect little portable workbench, perfect size. Now I'm going to go ahead and get these all cleaned up. Of course, I'm using Super Clean, and then we're going to use their wheel cleaner this time around. And we're going to get these all cleaned up and degreased, especially now that I put some penetrating fluid on them. We got to get all that off, get them all cleaned up and sanded up a little bit so we can get them painted. Got it pretty cleaned up with the Super Clean. Now I'm going to hit them up with some sandpaper and get them prepped for some paint. Let's go. Alright, I got them all lightly sanded and cleaned up with some Super Clean, and then I wiped them down with some Brake Clean as well. Should be good enough to go. Now I've only got enough paper to do 2 of these at a time, so I'm going to go ahead and give these a coat of paint. Hopefully they turn out okay. Alright, well, it's the next day, and those wheels turned out great. Here, check them out. And those look great. They're all dry. And, you know, of course, we still got to get the tires cleaned up to look as good as those do. But, yeah, they turned out great. There's just a little bit of a flaw in here, but this is going to be hidden by the hub cap anyway. But, yeah, looking pretty good for a rattle can job. But the best part is that look what showed up. Now check this out. Yeah. That's the exact look I was going for. Now, if you remember when we got this El Camino, it had black steelies with moon hubcaps, even though the hubcaps were rusted, nearly completely gone. But that's what was on here. They weren't white walls, but I think they look much better with those white walls. And man, that turned out great. But now we just need to get these mounted on here. I won't have to keep airing these things up anymore. All right, let's do it.
Verify what we got before we move on.
Well, good morning, guys. Now, it's been a couple days, and, well, I was so frustrated I couldn't even finish the video. And in the last clip where I was putting the wheels on the car, I came to the realization that I'd made a huge mistake again, and realized what a setback it was. You know, those wheels that I spent all that time and all that work on turned out to not even be the right lug measurements. Now, I took the guy's word for it. He told me they were 4 3/4 GM, but they're obviously not. They were just a little bit too big for the lug pattern on this, so I think they're 5-on-5, probably full-size GM lug pattern, but regardless, they're useless to us. And like I was saying, I was so frustrated I couldn't even finish the video. I had to walk away and think about it, and I had thoughts of giving up and throwing in the towel, but of course that's not going to happen. I quickly realized that sitting around pouting about it isn't going to get nothing done, and I had to quickly find a solution to the problem, and the problem being that those black steel rims that we cleaned up and painted weren't the right lug pattern. But we do have black steel rims that are the right lug pattern and size, and that's the ones that are on the car. So I knew the only way I was going to redeem myself was to get those old wheels off, cleaned up and prepped and ready to get those tires transferred over. So, well, I took my frustrations out on those tires. Check it out. So that gets us to where we're at today. And here's those wheels. Now they were much rougher than these ones right here that you see me clean up and paint. Man, those turned out so nice, and they're useless to us. But these ones, as rough as they were, they cleaned up pretty nice. I got them all painted up and got as much rust off of them as I could, but they were pretty rough. But now we're going to take these down to the used tire shop, and we're going to pay a small fee to have them transfer these tires onto these rims. He's going to go ahead and put new valve stems in for me and balance them. And I think for all four, it's going to be like 88 bucks. So we're going to go ahead and get these all loaded up in the Nova, and we're going to head off to Big B Tire. Alright, we'll get these loaded up and head into town. Head over to, it's a used tire store, Big B Tire. Guys, that was another fail, another strikeout. I can't believe it. Those tires are more than 12 years old, and they won't swap them over if they're more than 10. They wouldn't do it. But where there's a will, there's a way. I'm not done yet, so I reached out to a few friends. A couple of them got tire machines. We're gonna figure this out. I think of it as like a fight. You get knocked down, you just gotta get back up and keep on going. So we're gonna get some friends to help us, hopefully. And we'll shoot. If nobody is able to help, then we'll just go to Harbor Freight and buy a tire machine and figure it out that way. And maybe it's a sign that it's time that I get myself one. But man, this is a lesson in humility. You just gotta keep picking yourself up, brushing yourself off, and stay in the fight. Hell, if I have to, I'll pull the wheels and tires off the Nova and put them on the El Camino just so we can drive it. One way or another, we're gonna figure it out. Well, despite everything, I'm just going to keep on persevering. I have no option. We got to get this car back on the road. So I may need to take a step back from the wheels for a week or two. It's not super dire. It's not like we're driving it right now. We got stuff in the works. I've got some friends I've reached out to with tire machines. Or we could just sell these. I could probably double my money now they're all cleaned up and just get a different set, or like I was saying, I'll just use the ones off the Nova if need be. But regardless, we got a couple weeks ahead of us before we even need to get wheels and tires back on this. So I'm going to step away from those and jump right into the next video. We got to get the driveline overhauled, and we got to figure out the clutch rod and the Z-bar and all those clutch linkages. We got to get that all squared away, along with plenty of other things we could do in the meantime. You know, I really wanted to end this video with those wheels looking good on this car and it's sitting on the ground, but you know, you don't win them all. I'm not going to let this video deter me. I'm not going to let those wheels beat me. I'm going to keep on keeping on. If you're not going to slow down until we get this car back on the road. Now, money was an option. I just picked something else or go buy a new set. But we have no more money to spend on this. We got to make what we have work, and you got to get creative and use what you got. That's why I've been hustling to get this cheap wheel and tire combo squared away. But we'll get it all figured out. Well, once again, I want to say thank you to everyone. And a huge shout out to all my members. Thank you guys. And don't forget to go check out the merch site. You know, we got new designs on the way, so those old ones are going out. Get them while you can. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, and share the video. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. And well, until next time, peace.